The narrative of historical events originate in antiquity with the great historians Herodotus, Thucydides, and Xenophon on the Greek side, and Cicero, Caesar, Livy, and Tacitus on the Roman. Thus, the study of ancient history always begins with the examination of these surviving classical texts, but other kinds of historical sources, inscriptions, papyri, coins, and archaeology must also play their roles in the larger understanding of the subject matter of that ancients and we regard as history. Nor has history's subject matter remained unchanged from antiquity. The Persian Wars, the Peloponnesian War, the campaign of Alexander the Great, the Punic Wars, the conquest of Gaul, the Roman Revolution, the decline and fall of the Roman Empire, all are typical of the political and military topics and interests of the ancient writers. But in modern times, the scope of historical inquiry has expanded to include as well the study of women, children, foreigners, and the ubiquitous practice of slavery. In short, the whole of classical society in all its diversity. And to these new subjects, the specialized study of Greek and Roman cultural institutions, entertainment, clothing, diet, athletics, law, medicine, and the sciences, for example. And it is clear that ancient history now encompasses the reconstruction over time of the emergence and evolution of classical civilization in all its dimensions.
Ancient Egypt was a civilization in ancient Northeast Africa, situated in the Egyptian Nile Valley in the country Egypt. Ancient Egyptian civilization followed prehistoric Egypt and coalesced around 3100 BC with the political unification of Upper and Lower Egypt under Menes. The many achievements of the ancient Egyptian include quarrying, surveying, and construction technique that supported the buildings of monumental pyramids, temples, and obelisks, a system of mathematics and practical and effective system of medicine, irrigation systems, and agricultural production techniques. The first known plank boats, Egyptian fines and glass technology, new forms of literature, and the earliest known peace treaty made with the Hittites. Ancient Egypt has left a lasting legacy. Its art and architecture were widely copied and its antiquities carried off to far corners of the world. Its monumental ruins have inspired the imaginations of travelers and writers for millennia.
And ancient history is the most aggregate of past events from the beginning of writing and recorded human history and extending as far as late antiquity. The span of recorded history is barely 5,000 years and beginning with the Sumerian count from script and ancient history causes all continents inhabited by humans in the period of 3000 BC and 5000 CE. The three-age system period is in ancient history into the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age, with recorded history generally considered to beginning with the Bronze Age, the start and end of the three-age. Whereas between world organization in many regions, the Bronze Age is generally considered to beginning a Euconterist period to 300,000 BC, while the end of the Iron Age varies from the early first millennium BC is some regions to the late first millennium CE in others.
In the 8th century BC, Greece began to emerge from the Dark Ages, which followed the collapse of the Mycenaean civilization. Literacy had been lost and the Mycenaean script forgotten, but the Greeks adopted the Phoenician alphabet, modifying it to create the Greek alphabet. Objects inscribed with Phoenician writing may have been available in Greece from the 9th century BC. But the earliest evidence of Greek writing comes from graffiti on Greek pottery from the mid-8th century.
As early as 3000 BC, Egyptians had developed a technique for making papers from the pith of the papyrus plant, a common sight along the bank of the Nile. Long strips were woven together and weighted down to bind them into a strong, thin sheet. The Egyptians also invented pens made of cut reeds, which were strong enough to write on the papyrus, and mixed soot or other organic material with beeswax and vegetable gum to make ink. These ancient paper makers knew that they were doing. Many of these paper sheets inscribed with Egyptian hieroglyphics remain intact and readable even after more than 5,000 years. The word democracy comes from the Greek term demokratia, literally meaning rule by the people. The word and the concept was introduced in 507 BC by Cleisthenes, ruler of the Greek city-state of Athens. This form of popular government consisted of three separate institutions: the ecclesia or assembly, which wrote laws and dictated foreign policy; the bowl, a council of representatives chosen from the different Athenian tribes; and the dicasteria, a popular court system. In practice, only a small minority of the Athenian population took part in this early form of democratic government, as participation was limited to mere citizens over 18. Athens' system of popular rule would last only until around 460 BC, when an aristocracy began to emerge under the leadership of the general Pericles. However, the democratic ideals and processes that originated in ancient Greece have influenced politicians and governments ever since.